What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the AFC East Roundtable. This is your Miami Dolphins Roundtable. It's your boy TD with the man CB83.
Yes,
We
sir. Let's get it.
Dudley Durong will be in within 5 minutes, maybe even less. But we got our man Barry Cunningham in the house. What's up, Barry?
Friday, man. Friday
night. Hey, listen, name Tua's biggest fan in 2022.
Ooh,
Man,
you were. He was.
that's old though. 2022, man. We're in 2024 now. What happened, man? Did you not win the award again?
No, Omar Kelly took it from me.
Oh, wow. Shots fired.
Omar's out there cashing checks or something because he's definitely turned into 2024.
Dang, so you saying he taking money, huh?
He cashed checks
That's wild.
Like and I ain't saying nothing. I wouldn't say directly to him. I'm like, dude, you went the other way. Now every single tweet, you're like, oh my God, this guy's it. He's great. He's fantastic. And blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, here's the throw, man. Here, you got it. You got it.
Gosh.
And now you're gonna have to wear it. See, that's the other problem. Now you're gonna have to wear that throne.
Ooh. He got to wear that, TD. He got to wear that.
So, yeah, everything that he's doing right now has to be for a reason. And I guess we'll see. Maybe
he has turned it up a notch. I ain't gonna lie. He has turned it up a little bit.
Well, Barry, I got a question for you. I mean, what made you kind of move off the Tua bandwagon? What kind of made you? And I know it's easy to say like, oh, the film showed me, but what were some of the things you saw that kind of made you like transition to being he's not the guy?
All right, so I never moved off of Tua. Tua moved off of me, and what I mean by that is when you look at, again, let me just preface this by, and I've told people this many times on my video, love Tua the guy. I respect Tua the man. Everything he does from a personal aspect, you couldn't ask for a better teammate. He's a nice guy, Christian young man, family man, dad, perfect. There's nothing else you could say about it. It's all superlative. But from his play perspective, I've been watching Tua all the way back since Alabama. So I was kind of a Bama junkie, and I watched how he played at Alabama. So I think a lot of people realized, a lot of Dolphins fans who may not have noticed, like when he got hurt at the Mississippi State game, he was doing what he always did. And Nick Saban left him in because Tua was that kind of warrior. He wanted to make the plays. Got hurt, messed up his hip, came to the Dolphins, had to sit out and rehab. And I told TD, I don't know if it was TD or one of my broadcasts, I was there at the first game up in our suite when he walked out onto the field, was there, cheered, had everybody just going nuts. I was firmly behind him. Then I started my channel, started doing everything I could because I saw all these other reporters out there just talking crap about him. And so I jumped on because that's not who he is, guys. He can do it. He can do it. Then just to recap really quickly, through the season, I started seeing some things. And then what really got me sour was what happened on December 25th. And if you know, and the
Green
date
Bay.
just Green Bay. And whatever happened on the 25th happened. But after that, the football player I knew as Tua never showed up again. And if I can go, depending on which time you want me to spend, I can go chronologically. As a captain of the team, he never showed up. Even when we saw him, he was in the tunnel. He didn't even come out. He never did any press. And people are like, oh, he's under concussion protocol. He doesn't have to do press. You didn't have to. You're the captain of the team. Get your ass out there. And then things started not making sense. His mom and dad said something that didn't make any sense. He blew off Florio and Sims the day of the Super Bowl Tuesday when they were doing the interview. The guy I knew wouldn't have broken those kind of commitments, agent or not. And then he wasn't being a leader. Segue into the season, and I just started seeing things. And again, whether it was Mike McDaniel's fault or Tua, that he just wasn't doing what he was known for doing. If you go back and look at his draft rating when he first came in the league, and they list a score, and then they put strengths, and then they put weaknesses. Some of those strengths have come off the board. He's no longer a plus in some of those categories. One of those categories, you could pull it up right now, TD, and look at it, was mobility. That was a strong strength of his when he got drafted. He's no longer a mobile quarterback. Why? I don't know. So all kinds of things. I mean,
you can. It sounds like you could go on for days, and I get it.
I've researched it, man.
Yeah, and I get it. I just feel like, despite it all, he still was getting better every year. He still progressed. He was still working on his game. Now, he did take some step backs here and there when it came to watching his play and breaking down the film, but he still had some really good moments throughout the season. He made some really great plays, but I just felt like a lot of people were going back and forth. There was a lot of flip-flopping. A lot of, hey, I like Tua one day.
I didn't go back and forth. When the stuff happened that I didn't like, I immediately began calling it out. And when you say stuff like he started getting better and progressing, that's when I had to stop a lot of people. I go, define that. Define getting better. Because it wasn't, in my opinion, when I looked, it was getting better against crap teams. The stuff that he was getting better at was because that people called, they were playing against teams. And I've always said this in many of my videos, this offense was easy to stop. And I called it way back. The offense was easy to stop, could be shut down if you had the right personnel. And so when people looked at the Denver game, and they looked at the Giants game, they looked at the Washington Commanders game, those teams didn't have the personnel to stop this offense. And I kept saying it. I'm like, wait till they get to a team that has that personnel and all the progression, because there were so many stat junkies out there. Oh, he threw for this much, he threw for that much. I'm like, doesn't mean anything. Watch what happens when he gets to a team that has the capacity and the personnel to shut him down. Because if I could see it, if I could read the offense and see, just stop this, and I know we'll get into the one read shit, and I'll tell you about that too when we get to it. But that's all the stuff I saw. So it wasn't like I was looking at stats. I was looking at the actual play on the field. And he wasn't the guy that I had followed all the way back at Alabama. And when I had seen in the draft, the ratings and everything else, he's not that guy.
Wow. Doug, welcome. Sorry, Doug, you came straight into the fire because CB83 just can't let go. How you feeling, brother?
I'm all right. My daughter wanted me to put her to sleep, not my wife. And I'm like, and that's like an hour-long process. So I'm like, I gotta go.
Hey, it's worth it, man. Hey, you did the right thing, man. That's what's up. All right, Doug, man. What we've been talking about, CB83 opened up a can of worms as he always does. But just so much, they were asking, Barry, about he used to be, Tua's biggest fan in 2022. He threw a little shot and said, no, that's Omar Kelly now. He took the reins.
Oh, man. Omar catching strays out here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Now, I'll say this. I want to say this because I want to go to Doug. Doug, and at least this is my view, okay? You've been very optimistic about Tua, very hopeful about Tua. And I've noticed, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to put things in your mouth or misrepresent your stance, but I've noticed that there's been a little bit of a shift and kind of like, oh, man, like, come on, bro, this ain't it. How is if that's true, how has that reception been in the community?
Not too bad, because I have receipts, and I put a video out recently where I recap to his 2023 season, and for a good 80% of the season, I was happy, and then December.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, he froze up.
Tua done got him, man.
Golly,
Tua done got him, boy, man.
I'm back.
Okay.
Then. So he was good for a good 80%, and then December, January came, and I was looking for the clutchness. I was looking for him to, the plays were there. A lot of people wanted to get on Mike McDaniel for some of the games, like the Bills game and the Chiefs game and even the Ravens game, but the plays were there. It's just
CB83.
they weren't executed. So but I even showed, like, in the beginning of the season, I was like, I'll give Tua a contract extension if he stays healthy, check, and if he wins a playoff game. Well, he hasn't done that, so I'm not one for giving him a contract extension. He has progressed every year. He's gotten better. Like, there's certain aspects of his game where we're like, but we need to start seeing him progress not one bit at a time. Now we need to start seeing him progress in clumps, because it's like, oh, he can't throw it deep. Oh, okay, now he's making deep completions. Oh, he has a hard time with the playbook. Oh, now he's mastered the play. You know what I'm saying? It's like little by little by little,
Well,
whereas now we need to
are
see.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you played ball. I don't know if CB has. You've watched enough. You guys have all seen enough ball where players and quarterbacks who have mastered the playbook. Why is it that this quarterback cannot perform audibles? When he walks up to the line of scrimmage, if he knows the playbook inside and out, if he's comfortable and has, quote, mastered the playbook, why is it when you see 8 men in the box, you don't turn around and give a hot route and tell someone you're going to change the play instead of just turning around and handing it off or doing some sort of stupid RPO? Why are there no audibles being called?
Well, I think that's a good question, Barry. But and I think you have to take into consideration that the Miami Dolphins run motion 80% of the time, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're running motion, right, and you have a lot of moving parts before the play, there's not a lot of opportunity to go up there and audible and make checks at the line of scrimmage.
Wait
there's
a second,
just not a lot.
Before you call the motion, because he'll motion, he'll tell Tyreek to move. Yeah. When you walk up and you see 8 guys in the box, don't ask for the motion to come. When I walk up and I see 8 guys in the box, kill, Omaha, something, and I'm going to run something up. I'm not going to call the motion.
And I think he's done that, but I think you also have to take into consideration that
seen it. I've seen him multiple times.
I think you have to take into consideration that Mike McDaniel has an offense that he's trying to implement. Mm-hmm. And you have to think about what Mike McDaniel is asking for him and asking of him. So if he's asking him to identify, hey, if you're in this look and you get this, hey, don't run the motion, just kill it, run something else. Run a run play, toss left, toss right, whatever you want to do. Now, if that's not something Mike McDaniel is asking of him, right? That's a whole nother conversation we need to be having, because I don't think it's on Tua at this point.
Well,
I think it's on the coaching and the scheme.
Let's have
and I think it's on the coaching and the scheme and what Mike McDaniel wants to implement in his offense. And I know it's easy. It's such a casual take for people to be like, oh, he doesn't audible at the line. Do you know what the coach is asking him to do? Like we don't know that. Like let's stop making assumptions. Let's not make assumptions.
You're underscoring and making a new problem. And what I mean by that is the coach may have a plan and a scheme and may be asking him to do X, Y, or Z.
Right.
An elite quarterback, and that's what everybody tries to keep saying. An elite quarterback runs his own shit when he gets out there.
That's not true, Barry. An elite quarterback.
Is anybody calling him elite on this film?
I mean, no, I'm not calling him elite. But elite quarterbacks operate at a high level within their system. Let's not say elite quarterbacks just go out there and call audibles. And no, that's not the case. Tom Brady wasn't always calling audibles. He didn't but he operated well within the system. Come on, man. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
This is where I totally disagree with that, CB. Okay. When we say things like this, see, this is what kind of like, it'd be like, oh, when we say things like, I've seen him do it before. Yeah, we've seen everybody do certain things before. Okay, right. I've seen him come to the line and do that before. It's not about the one-offs. It's about the high level of consistency and recognizing it and doing it. It doesn't matter what Mike McDaniel calls in his headset. He has an order of operation that he has to follow when he gets to that line of scrimmage. And at some point, when you see what that order of operation is based off of the coverage that you have identified is just not going to work, it is 1,000% on you, not the coach anymore. The coach has no idea what the defense is going to come out in.
TD,
the coach is gonna give you a play, and he might even give you an alternative play based off of what you studied on film in the package and what looks they can give you out of this. Now, if he goes to the line and neither of those are it, he has to recognize, are they better suited for run or are they better suited for pass? If you look at Kurt Warner's film study, you will see when he does that whole segment that the Miami Dolphins were not prepared for the blitz. They were not prepared for the blitz. Almost every single one of them, there was an easy hot right there, but we weren't prepared for it.
Now, if you're talking about hots, that's a different story, TD. You said audibling. So if you say that, now we barely look. Check this out. We barely got to play off in time.
But
so
hold up. So what makes you think that we can go up and make adjustments to the play and run a different play if we can barely get the first play off?
Who's responsible for not getting the play off in time?
The coach is responsible for getting the play in. He's responsible.
Listen, CB83.
Who calls the play?
The NFL.
Who calls the play?
No, CB83. The coach gives the player to play.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear.
The NFL cuts the mic off at the same time as they cut it off for everybody. Right at that point, the quarterback got to get his team to the line of scrimmage, go through his order of operation, and execute the play. That is all on the quarterback. 1,000%.
We could barely get it off on time. And people say, hey, Mike McDaniels was an issue because he's getting the play in late and there's delay of games. That has always been an issue on the road, communication issues. Let's stop lying to ourselves.
How are you getting a play in late when the NFL cuts it off no matter what for everybody at the same time? How are you getting a play in late? To this point.
So the play don't come in late, TD?
It's CB83. As long as it ain't later than that mic cut off, that's acceptable.
Stop.
And the NFL cuts off everybody mic at the same time after I forgot how many seconds, but it cuts out. And that's where you need to go execute the play. Now listen, CB83, bro.
15 seconds.
15 seconds, okay? We're talking about a 40-second game clock. Am I wrong on that?
We don't have 40 seconds. I don't know what you're talking about. We not getting it.
It starts over. At 40, 15 seconds. You got 25 seconds to get to the line up.
We get to the line of scrimmage with 10 seconds left. 10 to 15 seconds left.
So whose fault is it that
it's the offensive coordinator and who's calling the plays.
Look at what you're saying.
The McDaniel is responsible for running the offense.
He's
responsible for the implementation of the offensive scheme.
How long should it take to break?
I don't want to hear it. Y'all know. I know football. I played collegiately.
How long should it take to break and line up?
After
5 seconds,
you get
5
the play
seconds,
in your helmet and then call it out.
Exactly.
5 seconds.
Yeah, about 5, 6 seconds.
5 seconds. Then you got to run your motion. You got to run your motion. Throw your motions in.
It is oh my gosh.
Come on, you got to run your motions. We run it 80% of the time.
At the end of the day, the one thing that has been consistent for 4 years between no matter what coach it is has been the same term. Oh my gosh, you making me run a brain fart.
Yeah. You run a brain fart.
Not the order of operation. What did Flores say in every press conference that McDaniel says now? Command of the offense, getting in and out of the huddle. Is that not something that we've heard for 4 years straight? Command of the offense, getting in and out of the huddle. Command of the offense, getting in and out of the huddle.
Tua takes ownership. He's got to take ownership for that. He's part of it. Everybody's part of it. But McDaniel is responsible for implementing the offense, getting the play in on time so his guys can get out of the huddle, see what they're seeing, and make the play. That's it.
Let me ask you a question, because we've visibly seen Tua get pissed when there's a delay.
He has.
We've seen it. We've seen him in practice yelling, "Come on, let's go. You're not over there." Are we really going to sit here and say he doesn't have command of the huddle?
He doesn't, because they don't respect him enough to listen.
Man. Well, are you
Doug,
really?
The only thing that matters.
Hey, that is a terrible take.
Doug, the only thing that matters are results. If I'm coming to the line, come on, man. Come on. No, you ain't. Obviously, they don't respect you to that level to really get up and at it. Get up and at it. Let's go.
It's not. I don't think it's. Look. It's not about respect.
Tua is passive, and they will never
He
get
is.
up in that
Look,
for him.
he is passive, and that's something I don't like about him. And I feel like he's a little too passive. He's soft.
Daniel even told him to be more
Right.
passionate on the sideline.
But I think
And until
you
he
can't
is,
say that the players don't respect him.
Nah, that's crazy.
Okay, let me take away the
that was a
word
terrible
respect.
take. Yeah, that was a
They
terrible
don't
take.
get up. They don't move for him. They don't move like that for him. I am just like, and it's sad that which player said this? Was it Snead or somebody? Somebody said this recently. Another player. The Dolphins won't be good until Tua stop being soft.
I agree with that.
Who said
I
that?
agree.
Who said that?
I think we all can agree on that. It was another player in the NFL.
Listen,
wide receiver for the 49ers said it.
Yeah. One thing I know, if you're a dog and you are ultimately respected with the utmost, people don't even play with you. What you say go, and they get up and at it right away. And they don't do that for Tua, man. I mean, at the end of the day,
I don't think they do that for McDaniel, but I don't think he demands that. And I don't think but he's got to
do it for him.
Look, and
he's the team-friendly guy.
And this is my thing, and this is my thing about Mike McDaniel, right? And I've always been a proponent. I coached for years. I taught for years. You got to be hard in the beginning, right? And I feel like it's almost too late now, right? Mm-hmm. And that's my thing about Mike McDaniel. He's put himself in a very, very bad situation because it's like now you're trying to tighten up and loosen the leash, and it's already out there. And it's very hard to pull guys back, rein guys in, and be the mean guy now, right? So I was always taught, hey, when you go in your classroom or when you go to your team, you set the tone right away. So from day one, you let them know, hey, this is what it's going to be. I'm going to have high expectations for you. I need you to perform. And I feel like Mike McDaniels has done that, but it's a nice way of doing it, and guys don't always respect that.
So what makes you think, after 2 seasons of seeing the same shit happen over and over again, what's going to change? Because we went through basically 18 games, 18 weeks, however you want to look at it, where the same things that happened in week 1 happened in the wild card game. How many times can you go up to a podium after a game and go, we had communication issues? At some point, you couldn't do it in a regular job. You couldn't do that doing any job. 4 or 5 months later, go up, hey, I'm still doing the same bad shit that's costing us that I was doing 5 months ago. And so every single, what you're saying, and basically the underscoring of what you're saying is that the coach isn't prepared, which caused the player to be unprepared, but it keeps perpetuating, which when you take that whole pie together, there's a huge problem that has to be rectified. And they don't seem to be able to do that.
Well, I want to get y'all take on this. Going on to what Barry's saying here. When you were talking, Barry, you made me think about something that I've been meaning to ask you guys, and I've been wondering about because it's making me think. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong or right. The locker room maybe don't even feel McDaniel like that anymore. I feel like they're over him, and let me give you the evidence of why I feel that way. And I could be wrong.
These tough allegations. Woo.
No, that's why I'm bringing it up. I want to get your guys' thoughts.
Hey, Doug, we controversial tonight, boy.
But hey, this is why I say this though. Do you remember Mike McDaniel's press conference and stuff? Well, not press conference, but his speech to the to people and everything after the game and stuff. He said, what I like is, this team is resilient. They're not arguing and pointing fingers and blaming each other anymore. Do you remember when he said that?
Did he say any more? Or did he
yes,
say they're just not doing that?
That's the one thing I had to go back to make sure. That's why I'm bringing this up. He said so. When he said it, I was like, so at what point were they last week or early? I mean, like, when were they? And when you look at this team, because he was also talking the previous week on Hard Knocks, how frustrated they were in the locker room. He's trying to console those things. And it made me feel like that's when they were kind of like going at it a little, maybe in the locker room, because they don't want to accept losing. But do y'all think it's a sign that when you lose the ultimate opportunity and it's all over and they're not arguing anymore, that's kind of like, it ain't even worth it?
Like they're giving up?
I think you
like it ain't even worth it anymore.
I think you begin to lose the locker room, and we can just do a quick little metaphor. Doug's camera froze. Maybe mine will freeze. if Doug restarted his camera 3 or 4 times and it kept freezing, at some point Doug himself is going to go, "This is a piece of shit camera. I got to do something else." He's not going to come on. He's not going to come on to your next stream, and it's going to happen again. And okay, TD, I swear I got this shit fixed. We're going to do it. And the third week, it just does the same thing. So either Doug needs to buy a new camera, or TD needs to not have him on the stream. And it would go for any of us, whether CB did that, whether my microphone went, I started sounding like McDonald's. You're going to say,
it for you, Doug.
You're going to say,
but Barry, I get what you're saying.
So you're saying Doug is McDaniel in your analogy?
Wow.
No, not like that. But your example, you're using for McDaniel.
Yeah. But
I'm saying Doug and the three of us are guys on the team.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing the camera is Mike McDaniel. Like, hey, Mike, man, can you get this shit fixed? How often are we going to have to come here and get communicate? I mean, we could probably do a montage of press conferences where they keep talking about communication issues. My whole dust up with Teron Armstead. What did he say? He said we had communication. I'm like, it just keeps friggin' happening.
And I think,
this is where I argue: is Doug the camera or is Doug McDaniel? And Tua's the camera.
We're players. The camera is McDaniel, and the camera keeps messing up.
Are you sure? Are you sure Doug isn't the McDaniel and Tua isn't the camera?
But see.
I'm just saying.
We gotta We gotta put some onus.
Trying to put it on you, Doug.
We gotta put some onus on McDaniel. We gotta put some onus on McDaniel, and this is why I say that because
he picked the camera.
No, but he's the head. He's the head coach, right? And it all falls on him, right? Mm-hmm. Last year, Mike McDaniel said he promised to us, hey, we're going to run the ball more. We're going to be more balanced. Mm-hmm. We're going to figure it out. Mostert, I apologize to my running back room because I didn't run the ball. Mm-hmm. And he did the same thing down the stretch this year.
Now, he ran the ball more.
Bro, and I'm just like, and he ran the ball more, but there's still times where he abandoned it, right? When we needed the most, third and 2 in Kansas City on Saturday night, you put the ball into his hands twice instead of just running the ball. Yeah. I mean, H. Haynes averaging 1.5 yards. It's not good, but it's 1.5 yards. Mostert was averaging 3 yards a carry. You gotta make some better play calling decisions down the stretch. You just have to.
I don't know.
I'm sorry,
bro. Let me ask the two senior guys here. The two senior guys are TD and Doug. And if you guys can answer this,
they old. They old.
No, I don't mean age. No, I mean in terms of I talk about Dolphins. Can either one of you tell me what the hell does Frank Smith do? Because if he's the offensive coordinator up in the booth and Mike McDaniel is the one calling the plays, is that causing the time? Is he saying, hey, Mike, we need to run this, and then he tells it to Mike, and then Mike has to ring it out instead of the offensive coordinator just banging out the play?
Yeah, 100%. The fact that he is getting head coaching interviews is kind of funny to me. He's not going to get them because he's not running the offense. But you're 100% right. You know, and it's so funny that Tua kind of threw Mike McDaniel under the bus, saying that in practice with the communication and the noise and this and that. But yeah, the whole point, it's Adam Gase all over again, where we have the head coach instead of just having head coaching duties. But he was smart in the aspect of bringing in Fangio so he doesn't have to worry about a whole half of the team. But now he needs to, if Frank Smith does go, say he miraculously gets one of these head coaching jobs, Darrell Bevel should become the OC and he should get play calling duties. Mike McDaniel's fantastic at scheming. Like he can scheme like a genius. But when it comes to in certain situations calling the right plays, he's not. He's not there yet. Put it onto somebody else so you can still, put your stamp on everything, but it's not so, because that's a lot of things. Last year against the Baltimore Ravens, for a whole, I think, quarter, they were saying they were having communication issues. So Tua was just improvising. Like it was, that needs to be fixed. It's another situation where we're not fixing something that's a problem. And it was happening at home. It was happening against the Cowboys where we were calling timeouts and delay games. It's like you got to get that going, especially if it's happening at home. So yeah, no, you're 100% correct on that, Barry. Like
So what does he do?
You got to give up play calling duties. Like he has to. And the fact that the reporters and the beat writers asked him that means that everyone's noticing it. And if we're noticing it, they're noticing it. So he has to give it up.
I don't want to shift gears real quick, but I want to make sure we try to hit as many topics as we can. Is Fangio going to be the DC next year?
You want me to? I can answer that.
I don't have an answer.
Doug's itching to get to
the
this
only way. First off,
I love how you all paused. Everybody went.
All our cameras froze at the same time.
Oh man! No, I never got that camera.
He's the boss. Like we can all say that Mike McDaniel's the head coach. Vic Fangio's the boss, and he's getting paid like the boss. So the only way he is leaving is if Jim Harbaugh's like, hey, I'm going to need you wherever I go. Then possibly he leaves, or a head coaching candidate. I don't see him giving up the money, the Florida, and the power he has on that side of the ball.
But he's going to get the money with Harbaugh.
Yeah, Spanos will pay him.
He gets more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if Jim Harbaugh is like, hey, we'll pay you the same, come coach with me. We've been to a Super Bowl together. He's probably gone. But if that doesn't happen, he's not going anywhere. But so he has.
Like what the heck?
Nah, I mean, I think Fangio will see it through, and it is interesting that Harbaugh could. You said what?
He didn't make no guarantees.
No, I know. I don't think I think it's about the loyalty to the team and the loyalty to Mike McDaniel.
The team don't even have loyalty to the team.
Fangio admitted in the offseason. Fangio admitted in the last offseason that he was gonna take the other job, but the situation that happened. He wasn't committed to us. He wanted the other situation.
But I mean, when you take a job, right? You kind of want to see it through. Like, this team is good, right? This is a good football team. I don't know. Y'all are making faces. This is a really good football team. The injuries down the stretch are what killed us, right? They decimated the defense. Totally. His unit was, broken down to the studs. Like, and you're signing guys off the street. So, of course, I think he's gonna want to be around next year to build the defense the way he wants to build it. And a lot of these guys weren't his guys. Let's keep it honest, right? He basically took on a lot of these guys and said, "Hey, I'm gonna try to fit you in and mold you to what I need you to be." But he's gonna have the opportunity to bring in his own guys, kind of implement the defense the way he wants to do it. Now, I do think him and McDaniel may clash a little bit in terms of like culture and good cop versus bad cop.
I don't think so.
But
Daniel lets him do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, he has no answering to McDaniel. He even said,
and I don't think he answers to McDaniel. I think McDaniel just kind of coddles his guys a little bit more than he would like.
Here's the issue, I think,
because I've coached on staffs like that where the head coach is a super nice guy, and as an assistant, you want to be tough on your guys. You expect your guys to do a certain thing, but they just run to the head coach or say, "Hey, he's treating me like this," and I just don't like that. The fact that the head coach is super nice and you got all the assistants being the bad guys. I don't like that.
I got a question for you, a very sincere question.
Yeah.
You're Vic Fangio. Assuming money and everything else is the same, you're going to be on the beach out there in California. Assuming all that's the same as it would be down here, which team, given that Jim Harbaugh, we're going to assume, is going to take the Chargers job, which team, looking at their roster, has a better chance of moving towards a Super Bowl next year? Without the whole 6-year rebuild shit and not having money, which team has a better chance of moving forward? Miami. Now, understand, before you answer that, understand that he was involved, obviously, in bringing in Cam Smith. Don't know what happened there. Not going to have Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips for 5 or 6 games, possibly. You're looking at all this as you're him, and you're saying, I like my boy, but like Jim Harbaugh, it kind of would sway me. I don't know if it's loyalty or the fact that how old is he? 60 something. I can probably get a ring quicker with Jim than with Mike. When you put it that way. Y'all got quiet again.
Well, listen, I don't know. Go ahead, Doug. I'll say after you.
It depends. It all depends. I will say this though: he has a second interview with Atlanta, so we'll see if he actually goes to LA. LA might get someone different, but it depends. That's, to me, like I said, that's the one hiccup that would all of a sudden we would be looking for a defensive coordinator if Jim Harbaugh, regardless of where he goes, is
That's
like
ugly.
I need you.
This is what I'm trying to get to.
And he's
in
like,
the event that we hope this doesn't happen, but in the event that it does happen, what the crap? We can't go through another system.
No, I think Campanile will become the defensive coordinator. I think he's
so they'll just promote.
Yeah, I think they would do.
I
that.
like Campanile. I think he'd be a good DC.
The way he realize
because he kind of ran. You remember from Hard Knocks, he ran a lot of the like the defensive meetings, like that stupid punch, different language, still getting punched in the face speech, if you remember that. So I wouldn't be upset with Campanile, and then maybe who's the Hill? Ronaldo Hill will become the DC if he doesn't go with Fangio. If Fangio leaves,
but isn't that guy also looking interviewing for jobs as well?
Campanile, yeah, I think he has one interview.
And this is something to think about too. If Fangio left, you don't know who's going with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So another thing to think about too. This is the thing that's bothering me about it all, man. Another DC. Do y'all realize that next year we could be starting Cam Smith and Channing Tindall because we may be forced to give them their opportunity?
I mean, Cam Smith, I don't know about your boy. I don't see him touching the field. I think we're gonna bring.
So you believe in this stuff about restructuring Jerome Baker and all of that?
Yeah, I think you don't have to do that. I think Jerome Baker gets restructured, or
Jerome
he's
Baker's
gone.
X is gone,
or he's gone.
Yeah,
and I think X may be gone too.
Like
I think that's the nature of it.
Space.
I think it's time for us to cut bait with some of these guys.
The whole Flores regime. They got to go, honestly, when you think about it. That's Xavier Howard, Ogbah, that's Jerome Baker, and it is a different scheme. And I'm tired of people thinking that Jerome Baker is just this great player when he makes a lot of tackles. I'm looking for the tackle for losses.
Hey, he won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Let's stop. We know that.
All right, well.
He's a chase down guy.
Next subject here. That I want to talk about.
What happened to Barry? Barry left.
Oh, gotta get rid of that camera.
That camera.
Damn, Barry, tie your camera up, man. he got that Big Daniel camera.
So I've heard Doug say nothing wrong with making Tua play on a 5th-year option, right?
I got more to add to that if you want more to add to that.
Well, you're not seeing you don't have options of going another direction, do you?
This is what I would do, because I already see people in the chat, calling me and CB, Tua lovers.
Oh, they hate us, boy. They hate us. God,
I'm the farthest thing from a Tua lover. If you watch my live streams the last 4 games of the season, I would actually, and this is kind of like it would be a dickhead move for the Dolphins to do, but at this point, I would do it.
Be careful.
I would give Tua Geno Smith contract.
What was that?
$20 million a year with an out. Clear the cap space, and you're not paying him a lot. But
he's not going to take that. His agent not going to take that.
Here's the thing. And I've read this somewhere, and I was like, that intrigues me.
20 million.
And it's a dickhead move because who is going to pay him 40 to 50 million?
But Doug is always an idiot. I mean, let's be honest. And it may not be 50, but if it's 35, there's always an idiot.
Can you imagine? You don't pay him more than 40. You do not. He has not earned more than 40.
But he hasn't earned the Daniel Jones money.
No,
Daniel Jones didn't earn Daniel Jones money.
No,
but that's the market. It ain't about what he earned. He kind of set the market there.
But that's a part of the problem, though.
And that's definitely the problem, right? That's the problem with the quarterback market, is that it's so saturated, and it's honestly a slim pickings, and you got to pay the guy. you got to pay him 40 to 50 because that's the nature of the
no.
position.
Like you
don't.
You could still move money around.
I don't want look
on that 5th year, but
I'm not a proponent of paying him big money either. Right? But what's our other options?
Let me give it to you. This is what I don't like when I hear this. Who else are you going to get? What are the other options? Ladies and gentlemen, stop relegating a franchise quarterback to a top 5 first-round pick. I mean, and we still got to let time pass, but look at Jordan Love right now. Look at some of these guys that are playing at the highest level where they were drafted.
But look at Jalen Hurts. You can also look at other quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts and say he's not really deserving of that contract right now.
Which is even more of the reason why you don't lock yourself in with anybody unless you're 1,000.
I know it's
like
tough,
it goes both ways. You pay people that shouldn't have because they look like they balled out. Then you're not paying people that you should have, and now they're balling out. This is why the people that deserve the real money are the no questions asked guys. They can make every throw. They're athletic. They can make something out of nothing.
Who
they
is
have the
that
clutch.
though? Who is that?
It's a few.
Come on.
Who is that? Hold up. Who is that? Who are the guys who can do it all?
Let me name it. You got at least.
You better stop. You better stop the cap in here talking about everybody who can do it all. Who is that?
There's about 6 of them. There's about.
I was just gonna say about 7 of them.
Yep.
There's about 7. This league ain't designed for everybody to have one. But the problem with teams, they're not willing to keep swinging at the ball until they hit.
7 out of 32 though, TD. That's what you said.
That's what it's supposed to be until you get one of those guys. You ain't gonna be real.
Here's the problem, and I kind of side with TD with this. Here's the problem. We ran with Tannehill too long. There was times where we could have.
But you had to, right?
Or did we not build around him? Or did we not build a better team around him? Which one is it? Because he went to Tennessee and went to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, look at the
did he go to the AFC Championship?
It was the team around him.
The way the NFL is now, you have to have a quarterback that can do it. When the bright lights are on, you have to be able to do it. And we had Tannehill, and Tannehill at the beginning of his year, poor pocket presence. He had concrete feet. That got a little bit better. Poor deep accuracy. That got a little bit better. Oh, we just need him to, and then we miss out on Josh Allen. We miss out on Patrick Mahomes. We miss out on all of these quarterbacks that got drafted because we keep saying just one more. But
the problem, you're right, and the problem is that they never drafted the competition to really compete with Tannehill. And that's what needs to happen. And look, Chris Greer said his biggest flaw during the Tannehill era was not bringing in legitimate competition for him, to push him, to force him to get better or to lose his spot. That's what needs to happen during this tour. He needs to be pushed.
Why needs to be pushed? Because he's been lying.
Why hasn't he's got to bring in somebody? He got to bring in real legitimate competition.
He lying. What's legitimate? Huh? Mike White, stop.
That's
Teddy Bridgewater, stop.
Nah, he's got to do it. He hasn't done it yet. He's got to do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you're gonna come, if you're gonna come,
really want competition,
that's what I'm talking about.
I like bringing in Justin Fields.
Who'd you say bringing who?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Okay.
I've been screaming that. I mean, Justin Fields a dog. TD, I was just telling you that he would give Tua a run for his money, and he's a young guy.
You bring in Justin Fields, it's going to go back to 4 years ago with the Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua can't handle that, man.
Tua's got
right back to that.
Tua's got a barbecue or mildew at this point.
Because guess what? If Flores was here in that Chiefs game in the playoffs, would Flores have benched Tua?
For Justin Fields?
And put in Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Would he have done it?
He would have got him up out of there.
Now, we might have had a better chance to win because in that situation we needed a mobile quarterback because they were shutting Tyreek them down?
Yeah, for sure. Justin Fields is honestly people will say Justin Fields isn't the passer that Tua is, but Justin Fields under the tutelage of Mike McDaniels with the weapons, he could beat. Bro, he's a baller, and he's a baller.
I'm with Doug. offer a I ain't gonna be disrespectful.
It's hard to have two starting quarterbacks on a roster, though.
Like if I'm being fair, right? And Doug is like offering $20 million a year, right? If I'm being fair, I'm the type of guy that would give Tua a max of somewhere around 27 to 29. That's just my true heart value for him. And that still might be too much, but that's fair to me. When they come out with this 40, everybody can be like, oh, it's a team-friendly deal. No, it ain't. But anywho.
How much guarantee?
See, I'm the only guarantees are going to lock me down for 2.5 years. Okay. It's going to be a 2.5 years worth. So we're talking about, let's just hypothetically say we do sit him at 27. And we're talking about a 5-year deal. I ain't got my quick math in front of me.
Tua ain't taking no dang 27.
That's 130. That's 135. 27 per, and I'm gonna guarantee about 70. That's what I'm gonna do. The market says that ain't even realistic. Okay, like Doug said, but that's what I'm gonna offer because you ain't fooling me. You ain't proved nothing with your injuries. All we did is make sure you got the ball out quicker so that you minimize the exposure to get hurt. Also, you made business decisions to take less hits, to not stand in the pocket and take hits as often. You did sometimes, but not as often. So I don't know about that. Number two, I can't pay a guy big money that flicks in the fifth quarter every year.
Have an incentive in that too. Playoff win, you get even more money.
Yeah, no, I'll do you even better. Every win over 11, you get $3 million a win. We can start getting you up there to that real number. Every playoff win, $4 million incentive or something. We could get him up to a $50 million guy, but you would have proved it. But no agent's gonna go for it.
Nope.
Because let me tell y'all something. Nobody's an idiot. Them agents know good and well the Dolphins ain't going to be able to afford all this talent around him for the next 3 years. And as this talent starts to go, so does his numbers. Can he still be productive? Yes. Can he be better than he was with Flores without the talent around him? Maybe. But it ain't going to be what it is now. And the market ain't going to be there for him. And he's going to fizzle as this backup that gets starts in some teams every year. Now he's over there like Baker Mayfield, Bucks, over here, over there. That's what his trajectory could be if he don't get his bag this offseason. And that's why they're going to fight tooth and nail to give him his bag no matter what. And they're going to play hardball, and he's going to be willing to sit out. He's not going to be the one talking. The agent's going to be making the decisions. Don't even show up because we know how kind-hearted you are.
TD, when I said earlier
about Watson,
he's represented by Ryan Williams and Austin Lyman of Athletes First. So I think they represent Aaron Rodgers and some other guys. They get their guys paid though. They get their guys paid.
Now,
That's
TD,
why
at the beginning of this, when you asked me, or CB asked me what I thought about Tua, and I extolled the virtues of him being a good guy, a Christian man, a stand-up guy. This is where something else comes in, is that people assume he's going to sit out. From the type of family guy he is, do you think that he's going to sit out on a contract he's already signed? I think he's going. If they say we're not going to extend you,
the 5th-year option you talk about,
he's
gonna sit out. But his agent's not gonna allow him.
No,
his agent.
He's going to honor the contract.
This is such a Miami Dolphin thing, right? We offer him a contract. It's not enough because I just looked up. His agent is the same for Jalen Ramsey, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and Aaron Donald. They all get paid. So if we offer him a contract that we want to offer him, they're going to laugh at us. So say we're like, okay, 5th year, you're going to just play under the 5th year option. He'll play, and we'll go to the divisional round. And then then his contract will be up, and he'll be like, "Now you're going to pay me," and we're going to be like, "Well, we can't." And then he's going to say, "Deuces." That's a Dolphin thing, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
But here you go, Doug. I think you're spot on. I think now is the perfect time to pay him because you have the leverage.
We won't go to the divisional round.
Look, but he played poorly down the stretch, and I think you could use that as leverage. You did stay healthy. but you played poorly down the stretch.
I will see.
And we gotta put more offensive line help around you, and we gotta re-sign guys. So now is the time to pay him. I don't think Tua can play any worse than what he played down this stretch. I mean, he had a 15.8 QBR in a wild card playoff game. Let's be real.
I guarantee he will not play on the fifth-year option. I'm telling y'all, here's what
he's not sitting out. It's not in his culture.
If Chris, it ain't got nothing to do with his culture.
He's just not in him. It ain't in him, man. His agent ain't calling the shots. His dad is calling the shots. That's who calling the shots.
His father will say, "Stand up to the contract."
Exactly. He didn't sign the fifth-year option. He ain't got no choice. We picked it up. This ain't a case.
It is what it is, though.
All right, I'll sign the fifth year. We pick it up. He ain't got no choice. Listen to me.
He wanted to be here.
This is what I believe is going to happen if Greer has the cojones enough to say, play on your fifth year because you ain't taking my deal. Okay? Because first of all, he going to give him more money than he should anyway, so he going to take a deal. But if he don't take the deal, this is what's going to happen. The agent's going to say, we're not coming to training camp. We're not playing on that fifth year. They're going to make it public, right? The Miami Dolphins are then going to do something drastic. And this is the only chance we have. This is the only thing that's going to make him play on that fifth year eventually. They're going to go trade for a guy like Fields if he refuses publicly. Ooh. They will go do something like that as insurance. And there's even though the shame of it all is something they should do anyway.
Hey, but that puts that pressure on him, TD. But that puts that pressure on him.
Now he got to reconsider his stance on that. And then here's what's going to happen.
You out at that point? You out at that point?
No. Because he don't have to be out at that point. He can say, all right, I'm playing. And ain't nothing they could do about it.
But he ain't gonna be the starter. That's what I'm telling you.
but he ain't. But guess what? He could sit back and collect his $24 million.
Yeah, he can sit back.
So what's going to happen at that point if they trade for Justin Fields? And please believe me, as soon as they turn down a deal and the Miami Dolphins say it's hardball, they will have a mutual agreement under the table that nobody will talk about. Trust me, it'll be like, hey, this is an option. That's an option. I'm hearing things, but they will have a mutual agreement. That agent will shop the NFL teams. And if we were to trade Tua to you, what kind of contract can we get? And that's going to, and if they find something that's better or that they like, or maybe even just to stick it to Chris Greer, they are going to say, hey, trade us over there. Y'all work out the details. They willing to pay.
Well, like we said last night, TD, everything you're talking about with Tua, all this stuff has to happen before March. Fangio going wherever he's going, if he goes, you cannot go into the draft and go into the free agency period and stuff with all of that still just hanging out.
Tua deal don't have to happen before March, though.
Well, the whole scenario of getting Justin Fields does, because then are they taking Caleb Williams or that whole situation?
They'll know. Everybody will know in the GM inner circle, but they can't trade for him until 4 p.m. on the 13th anyway, or the 11th. One of the two. 2 days early.
One of those March days.
You can't make the transaction. The new league year doesn't start until that day. But the tampering period, I believe, on the 11th, I think, and then it's active on the 13th. Everything will be, as soon as the Super Bowl is over, you'll see the coaching carousel happen. The officials, where everybody going, where everybody trying to figure out. Immediately after that, you'll start to hear players announcing that they'll be no longer with the team because the team has notified them, even though they're still on the roster until the date. Once you hear that, all heck is going to break loose. This is going to be one of the craziest February 25th to March 11th that you've ever seen. And a lot of it going to have to do with the Dolphins because we got too many expiring contracts, and we got franchise tags that we can use. We got all of this stuff at our disposal. You got free agents on the market that may be better. You have literally trade scenarios where teams don't want to keep paying that veteran. They keep on throwing out Aaron Jones. That type of stuff. Let Christian Wilkins walk. There's a lot of different scenarios that can take place. But what Dolphin fans need to realize, no matter what big moves we make, and we might make a big move or something by sacrificing certain players, the overall team will not be what it was last year, though.
No.
It won't. It may look like it. Like if you move on from Christian Wilkins and bring in Aaron Jones, whoa, that's an upgrade. But that overall team, when you look at the whole picture, will not be as good as it was last year. Last year was that it can't.
Bro, I don't know. We had so many injuries down the stretch. I just want low.
Talk about healthy.
I know, but I want low-key guys who can stay healthy and make plays. Like, I don't need the names, bro. Just get me some dogs who gonna go in there and fight. I think we had too many like names, and we were just way too finesse. We got to stop being a soft football team.
That's the playbook. That's the playbook. Fans get mad. Give them a name. Whoa, Super Bowl, we got Aaron Jones. Oh, I love you, Christian, but we got Aaron Jones.
Aaron, you talking about Aaron Donald? You said Aaron Donald?
You talking about Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. I keep saying Aaron, don't I?
Oh, yeah.
Chris Jones. And y'all gonna sit here and let me go through a whole speech. Aaron Jones.
I said, who? Aaron Jones is nice, though. We need a running back. So I was thinking you was talking running back.
I'm talking about,
Derrick Henry. You hear what Derrick Henry said?
Derrick Henry said he wanted to be a Dolphin.
That too. You move on from Raheem Mostert, bring in Derrick Henry. But remember, when you bring in Derrick Henry, you're going to be paying him more money than you were paying Mostert. Yeah, so cool other parts of this roster are going to be less. When you bring
Jerome Baker gone.
When you bring in Jones, you're going to be paying more than you would have been paying Christian Wilkins anyway. You see what I mean? So when you upgrade, just remember there are parts of that roster that's going to be downgraded, but we ain't paying attention to it.
That's part of it. That's part of the game. I think people understand that. But I think you got to pick and choose where you want your guys. And I feel like down the stretch, where Miami was hurting the most was running that ball inside and getting short yardage plays.
Third and one,
in the trenches, right? And we just weren't physical enough. And that's where in the playoffs, in weather, that's where that matters the most. And you got to find a way to be better in the trenches moving forward next year.
So part of the problem, like when I said you asked me about how did I turn on Tua, whatever. Yeah. Is if you're telling me on a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1, the quarterback can't do a quarterback sneak.
That's a problem.
It's a big problem.
That's a problem.
And so I didn't turn on Tua. He couldn't even stick his head into a pile and get an inch, 2 inches.
But I don't think and I think Tua would do that all day. I don't think he would have if a coach asked him to do it. I think he would feel comfortable doing it. I just don't think McDaniel is trying to put him in those situations. And I think that's McDaniel. And I think that's McDaniel being it's hurting the team. He's being overprotective. Yeah, bro. We can't worry about Tua
asking that question.
But is it wrong for him to do that?
No, because we can't put Tua in a bubble every week. We can't do it.
Overprotective of all of our players. Like
bro, let them dudes play.
Guys, like not coming back.
What are we doing, TD? Let them play.
Y'all McDaniel haters.
Hey, come on, dog.
I'm a
we
McDaniel
cannot
here.
coddle these guys. These guys are grown men, NFL players. We can't be coddling guys and say, "Oh, you're gonna sit this week. Oh no, you're gonna sit this." No, bro, play football.
You should root for another team.
It's a double-edged sword, though.
It is.
When Connor Williams came back against the Giants and then he re-injured his hamstring, it was too soon for him to come back. It's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If they rush him back and they re-injure like those deep muscle, deep tissue injuries, then it's like I should have rested another day. But then if you rest them for 2 days against the friggin' Ravens and the Bills, then all of a sudden it's like, well, we need you.
Why didn't you just put him out there? Y'all need to root for another team hating on McDaniel, bro. No, y'all ain't real friends. But I will say this. I want to close with this. I do have a little gripe.
Oh no,
not with anybody here, but two in the ears, because well, yeah, I was trying to be nice to us. But it's crazy, man. It's something that I noticed, at least on Twitter, right? For 2 years under Brian Flores, I got a lot of death threats and all type of crazy stuff.
What?
Ridiculous.
Do you know that those things disappeared for a year and a half? Like literally just went off the face of the earth. Then all of a sudden, Tua start folding at the end of the season and they're back. Why is that?
It goes, and it's sad. It's really sad because it goes both ways. Because if you were looking in that chat, when I started talking about Tua in the slightest positivity, flooded. Oh, here comes Doug, Tua lover. He loves Tua, blah, blah, blah.
Man,
I've got threats too.
They ain't saying they're going to show up to your house, though, Doug.
They said if they see me at a game, it's on. And I'm like,
Why people don't get in my DMs like that?
Like it's on? Like really?
Why-
Oh, you ain't it out. You're not it out.
Why? Hey, I wish y'all would get in my. Come to YouTube, subscribe to my channel. Come bring that energy to me. I welcome that energy.
You
I
on
welcome
the
it.
near board of directors. You don't even realize you signed off on this.
He is doing on.
The
People
board.
He got alternate handles. It's actually him.
Hey, come
He
on,
signed
man.
off on this stuff. CFO,
Bro.
he paying them.
Hey,
Man.
these people is funny, bro. These trolls in the chat, I be laughing at these dudes, man.
But you know what?
It's one way or the other. You have to love them or hate them. And then if you're in between, you're a fence hopper, Barry, you've gotten that. You're, pick a side, this, and that. Versus, and you got it too, TD. When he does great, you point it out. And when he does bad, you point it out.
TD, the ultimate troll.
I'm Tua's biggest fan.
Yeah, it's
Boy, stop your
unbiased.
lying, boy.
I am his biggest fan.
Hey, you his biggest troll. That's what you are.
No, I only troll the sensitive at heart.
Twitter.
Because I gotta help their life by trying to toughen them up. They're gonna have to deal with me. But listen, man, I want to say this. I want to say this in closing. One thing I will say for the creator community, Tua is good for us all.
You said say that again, TD.
Tua is good for us all in the creator community.
Oh yeah, you eating right now.
He's good for us all. I had to sit back last night like, you don't pay this bum, but hold on. Hey, maybe we need to give him 60.
Hey, look at you.
Hold on.
You ain't right, boy.
Hey, I'm just saying, Tua good for business for the Dolphins.
He ain't good for your blood pressure though. Somebody said he ain't
good.
Your
I'm shot, man.
Gold, dude.
I'm shot on that, bro. No, but you know what, bro? I've literally had to make life decisions the last 5 weeks. Like I sit there, like I can't afford to get like extra because it hurt. No, y'all don't understand. Y'all think I just be playing. My reactions actually are painful. I pay for it all week. And I feel it in my heart. And it's like in my physical body breaking down. And I'm like, I can't react to this.
TD, you do look like your reactions do hurt like the next day. You look like you wake up sore, like you had played a football game.
You don't get it. I realize the passion of straining to get the point across hurts. It really I'm not saying this to say this right now. I am telling y'all
you're 100% right.
It takes a wear on me physically. And I literally in the last 4 weeks, you noticed I was optimistic at the end? Oh, we're gonna beat the Chiefs. That was for my health. That was for my health, man. We're gonna beat the Chiefs. Ain't no way we can lose. I ain't worried about it. Because knowing you're gonna lose is also draining in the week because deep down in your spirit. But what if we could just win? And it's a conflict that you can't. It's too
praying.
Much.
Hey, that's where Miami Dolphin fans are, man. It's a bad place. It's a bad place to be in, boy.
Do you realize what we did this year was the second from the worst thing that could happen? Because the worst thing that could have happened, we could have missed the playoffs if we would have lost to the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
But we were the second from the worst. That was the worst, but the second from the worst was being tracked down by Buffalo. They take the division, going to the first round, and you knocked out anyway. It happened. It happened. And when you say, well, it can't get no worse, all it can go up is from here. Are you not a real Dolphin fan?
Well, it can't get no worse than that.
Don't you ever say that.
I think Tua said it could be worse, and I said that. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then people on Twitter were like, "Well, you could be 1-15 or 1-16." I'm like, "Shut up."
Tua be killing me with the bro.
Now, something somebody needs to just not allow him to do.
This something that bothered me too. His interaction with Mahomes after the game bothered me. And seeing that on Hard Knocks. And him asking for the jersey and just being
it was an issue.
Bro, it's like, bro, why you?
I was trolling about it. I trolled about it, but
don't be a fan. Honestly, this offseason, Tua needs to get outside of his box. Go train with some dogs somewhere. You need to go train with Lamar a little bit. You need to get outside of the Nick Hicks box. You got to do something different this offseason.
Oh no, you just didn't say that.
You got to do something different. I'm tired of
Nick Hicks, I love you. I did not say that.
Cancel Nice Tua. Nice Tua got to go. Nice Tua ain't the dude. We need mean Tua. Tua, where them receipts at that you was keeping? I need the dude to show up.
Shannon Sharp tore him down for that.
Torn, but everybody's gonna kill him because it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But Tua, you gotta go out there and perform. When the moments are there, you gotta perform.
But that's the awkwardness of Tua. There's nobody on his team saying to him, just remain silent and keep working. Because you aren't known as that person. No. But you got to keep it going. As soon as you step out of there, it's just like you said with McDaniel. You can't all of a sudden be this accountable guy now. Tua, just don't say nothing. Don't get into it. Look good to me, and don't get into all of that. Yeah. Be the mogul that people treat you like. You know what I mean? Like, be that where you don't entertain anybody. You don't stoop at all, because that's the problem. The more he talked, the more it got worse. Listen, I ain't trying to come at the man, but let's just be honest. The more simpish it looks, the more weak it looks, the more you just ain't it, bro. Whining. It comes off whining, it comes off, bro, I just can't rock with you because you ain't cool like you're trying to be cool.
Oh saying he ain't cool? No, I get what you're saying, TD. I get what you're saying.
Tua is a cool guy in his own right, and the crazy thing is,
just be yourself.
He's cooler than most if he just be quiet. Because that's what would make him the coolest dude. I'm in my own lane. I'm doing my own, but now it's almost like I'm looking for acceptance. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for, hey, Mahomes, I'm in the in crowd. You know what I'm saying? No, bro.
That's how he looked, though. That's how I looked after the game. I'm like, bro, that bothered me. I'm like, bro, just keep it moving, dog. You just lost and you played terrible, dog. Go to the locker room right now. You shouldn't even want to be out there. Bro,
is it all not cringeworthy on Hard Knocks?
Bro, it's a little
Sky. I'm sorry, Sky.
I don't see, but I don't mind that.
I don't mind it. Some of that is cool, right? Some of that's him being himself.
I don't mind that. When he was getting excited for them opening their gifts, I like that. I didn't mind that.
Nothing's wrong with that, though. But sometimes,
not in the pajamas, though, man.
He comes across as if I'm trying to be in the in crowd when you don't realize the position you're in. People need to look at you and try to be in your crowd. You create the crowd. Stop trying to join others. Stop. You are the crowd, bro. And even to this day, right now, you can do that. You have that cachet. You have that polarism. Be it, bro. Don't shy from it. Be it, your style. What you do is what you do. Don't answer to nobody, and you're gonna be that dude. That's not that dude. It's almost like Jay-Z and Beyonce. No matter what you say about them, they keep it moving and they keep on.
If he essentially was doing that, right? Say he was putting his nose to the grindstone, he wasn't saying anything, and then that game where he was out there and he was doing the talking to me, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, all right, Tua, that's what we need to see. We need to see nothing, but then on the field when he throws like a dart of a touchdown and he's doing these hand signals and he's just,
I like that. And we're I can get down with that.
Own it. And when you go to the podium after a loss, it's different ways to own it.
Yeah.
Well, I got to be better. No, man. You know what, man? I'm not playing great football. I got to be better. Y'all stick with me. I'm going to be better. You know how much that'll ring to people? You tell us. Tell us what it is. Don't sit there in this fetal position. I gotta be.
But I think, everything. And you're right, TD. But I think that's a step in his progress too, as a player, as a person. I think he's honestly I feel like he's been sheltered a lot throughout the years.
His life,
and that's life. That's his life, right?
Yes.
And since he's been sheltered socially, it's just a little bit different for him. And I think you slowly start to progress. I mean, now he's got a wife, kids. I think there's a lot to that.
But my issue with the CB83, we can't look up in 8 years have passed and we're like, well, that's all a part of the progression. As time goes, bro, he already passed 4 years now. This is about to be 5. Where do we start to, you know what I mean?
I get it. I mean, I like Tua as a person. I think he's a great guy. I just feel like he's still working through a lot. I think we see a lot of guys in the league who are 25, 26, 24. I think Tua is 25, but socially, mentally, I think he's more towards like 22,
17,
23.
I thought you were going to say 12.
Don't say
I don't know why my
17,
brain
TD.
was
Come on,
He
bro.
almost an adult.
TD, I got to jump, bro.
All right,
Oh,
Barry, man.
man.
We about to close this out, man. See, I'm sorry, Barry. We just taking too long.
No, that's fine.
CB83 out here
Stop.
co-signing everything. I appreciate you, Barry.
All right, brother. Thank you. Thanks.
See you later, Bear.
All right, man. So you have a good one.
All right, man. We're about to close soon, guys. Any other things y'all wanted to bring up before we get out of here?
Man, we addressed a lot.
Did you guys talk about? Did you guys listen to? Let me put my 2 in your hat on real quick because you're wrong for knocking my quarterback. Did you hear what Brian Baldinger said on the radio?
No, what did he say?
Yeah, with Omar.
Yeah, did you guys listen to that? It's I was not expecting him to say what he said because
Wait, what did he say it again?
He defended Tua. He was like, Tua's a good quarterback. Tua's a top 10 quarterback. He could do these things. And then you know how Omar feels about the one read. And then Brian Baldinger comes out and says he's not a one read quarterback. He goes through his progressions. And if you think he's a one read quarterback, you don't know what you're looking at. And I was like,
Well, Baldinger
who was he talking to?
Baldinger need to go check his vision.
I think
he's right.
I might have been coming at you, TD.
Gary said this the other day. Baldinger's actually right with that because now I'm convinced he's a no read quarterback. He's everything is predetermined. So he's really reading. Let me tell you what it is. He is reading, but this is what it is. McDaniels created an offense where he slices the field down the middle and he only makes him worry about one side. Now, within that, he's reading, but he's reading key indicators, not going through progressions in reading the defense. What he's doing, he's simplified it. And let me explain this, what I'm saying. And y'all could disagree. This is what I'm noticing on film. So take that one play that we all know, the wheel route, tight end hits the flat, and the slot receiver has the option of a slant or the seam. We all following on that? Okay. So in cover 2, what's the coverage on that side? You got a corner, a linebacker that's lined inside of that slot, and a safety 15 to 20 yards back, right? So this is what Mike McDaniel has created. He's created a situation where when Tua hikes the ball, first of all, he's straight over there. Doesn't matter what's going on the other side. We all, I think we can agree to the most part, we cut off half of the field a lot.
It's hard, and it's hard for guys to get back across.
Yeah, you're right.
It's hard for guys to do that. Yeah.
But let's study this action over here on the left, okay?
Now this is a levels concept.
Yes, but here, which is fine. But here's the problem. I'm gonna show you the problem. The Tua reads that linebacker first, okay? If the linebacker stays still, I got the tight end right away in the flat, right? Unless, see, all of it is optional. Unless the tight end, the corner on the outside stays home. Now I got this the wheel route right between the safety. I got it right on the sideline, right? Yep. Now, if the tight end comes low with the flat, I got the slant or the seam. You see what I mean? He's giving him not so much progressions, but options. Hike, he did that. That should be there. He did that. That should be there. Those are options. Here's the issue with it. When you ran into Baltimore, when you ran Kansas City, Buffalo, here's what they. Okay, am I good now?
I think. Yeah. You're coming around. There you go. I think you're back.
Oh, they trying to shut me out. They trying to shut me out of this point. They're trying to take me out of this point. So here's the problem when you play the good teams, right? Here's what they do defensively in that situation is one adjustment that isn't accounted for. The safety is no longer out of place 15 to 20 yards back. The safety is about 10 yards deep, so he's in a position to handle the seam and the slant. The linebacker immediately hits the flat, and the wheel route the corner takes. And that's why when Tua hikes the ball, the linebacker came down low. I should have had a slant. Whoa, the safety, Pat. Well, is the wheel guarded? And it's too late at that point. The coverage is coming, but on the other side, we got action wide open. And this is the problem with McDaniel's system with Tua. You need to create a progression-based system where he's going through his reads, reading the entire field instead of cutting it off in half. That's what he's done, and this is multiple plays. Half of the field is cut off. When you go over film, you be like, this man wide open. So what? Tua never saw him because the action's over here. It's predetermined.
Right. But I think a lot of coaches use those one side concepts, and they're reading like high to low, right?
Because a lot of quarterbacks can't handle other.
Exactly. So that he's reading high to low, he's looking at the top, and then he works his way back down, right? I think what McDaniel needs to do is build in some checkdowns for Tua in those instances where, hey, I might not have a guy open here, but I have a running back. I know my running back's going to get out, get into the middle of the field, and I can hit him right away for a check down in the event I don't have what I need. And that's, I think, what the problem has been, is that Tua hasn't worked to his check down. He never puts anything in the middle of the field for him with his running back.
But
I think that's part of it.
But that's where I disagree, because there's too many plays where it's built in, but he's panicking, and sometimes the pressure isn't even coming.
Sometimes he does get a little panicky. Like, I'm not disagreeing with that. Like,
it's when that happens.
He's got to be a better improviser, and I don't want him to be Patrick Mahomes, but in some instances, he's got to figure out a way to get out of trouble.
Can he be?
What I noticed too is, it seems like a lot of what happened in the offense towards the back end of the season was Mike McDaniel trying to compensate for the fact that there isn't time for Tua to do things that maybe the other, and maybe he was doing at the beginning of the year. Because if you notice in the beginning of the year, he was carving people up regardless of the defense that they were. He was making the reads, making the throws. And then towards the end of the year, because like you look at what Kurt Warner said on Twitter, where he talked about there was no pressure plan. And then he showed a perfect play where the interception play, he broke it down. And I didn't even think about it when I first saw it, how Tua looked to his right at Tyreek Hill on a post, covered, went to his left. He had Durham Smythe running a curl. And then right behind him, he had Jalen Waddle running the in. And they were stacked. And
Can't
at that
see
point,
each other.
Tua had the pressure in his face, and he needed to throw it, and he needed to throw it over the linebacker. And he was saying that Mike McDaniel, if that's the case, if Waddle was going to keep going, he needed to move Durham Smythe so they weren't stacked. And when I was watching the Kurt Warner, I was like, wow, I didn't realize a lot of these things. Both is to blame. No one, I'm not saying that, Tua, it's not his fault he threw the interception. 100%. Take the sack. Don't try to sail it over the linebacker.
All the way.
But also, like you said, TD, the concept needs to change. Now, with Connor Williams in there, will we have done better against Buffalo and yada yada? Well, we'll never know. But there was a lot of pressure coming up the middle, because if you remember in the Chargers game, Tua, with that one pass where he stepped up into the pocket and then threw it deep to Tyreek Hill, he was allowed to go up in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like,
here's my conundrum with it all, Doug. It's like, if I'm evaluating Mike McDaniel, I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
But when I'm evaluating Tua Tagovailoa, that's irrelevant to me. Where were the opportunities despite of?
Exactly.
And there were plenty. And that's where 100%. Tua. Do y'all notice this, though? Sometimes there's no pressure and Tua creates it.
Yes.
Sometimes he's back to pass. Man, you got a clean pocket. And sometimes it's a trigger because of history, right? But again, you got to get out of that, because sometimes he'll take another step and now the guy's beating him, or he'll step up, bro. Just stay where you are. Your pocket is A1, and he'll create that pressure. Yeah. And it's like, man, like these are opportunities, and that's my only thing with Tua.
I notice a lot of times what happens is, like with Austin Jackson, he'll have his block and then he'll block the guy down to the ground. And out of Tua's blind side, he sees the guy hitting the ground. And he doesn't know he's falling. He thinks he's coming after him, takes off into a sack. Yeah, you're 100% right with that. Sometimes he doesn't realize, they blocked him into the ground. I can stay here for a second or two. And
I agree, bro. I agree. But let me tell you why that is. It's a good thing and a bad thing, Doug. It's because he has a great feel for the pocket.
Yeah.
But the issue is you're not really identifying what's going on.
Yes.
You have the
You
field.
guessing.
You can slide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You feel that pressure over there, but you're not realizing the situation. Oh, you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm actually just mauling this guy over here. That's
Mhm.
why it's chaotic, you know. And you brought up a good point too, Doug. Now here's something that scares me. The future for the Dolphins. I know we keep going. If y'all got to go, that's cool. But the future for the Dolphins from a salary cap standpoint scares me because you see all people online now. We could clear cap space easily, which is true. We can. But nobody's talking about the 2025, 2026, 2027 ramifications of doing such. We could easily clear the cap. We could easily, you know, have talent next year. But it doesn't, see, that's what I mean.
We don't care about that.
But the problem with that is if this situation does fail, you set up the new quote unquote rebuild or the adjustment, you're setting that up already at a disadvantage. That's my issue. We don't have fair complacency plans. The one coach that ever in all of history got the fairest new coaching situation was Brian Flores. Yep. We were allowed to lose, strip it all. It didn't matter. It's okay. Matter of fact, we're mad you didn't lose enough, you know?
Yeah.
So, but coaches don't get that luxury. And this team won't be able to get that luxury if this situation fails. Mm-hmm. We'll have our young core, but we won't have the luxury to start fresh and just sell it all. We have to continue with the young core because we're about to sign them long-term starting this offseason and next offseason. So with that being said, how do you feel about the way we're handling our books for the future? It's almost like an all in now, because at the end of the day, if we don't make this work, some people might get fired.
Yeah, it really is. We're kind of, a lot of people thought that these past few years was a Rams situation, and I didn't think it was because we still had first round picks at certain points, but we're slowly starting to gravitate towards that Rams situation where it's like, pretty soon it's all or nothing. And then if it's nothing, whoever's coming in, you have to not even tear it down to the studs. You're going to have to tear the whole thing down and start fresh with everything. Like it's going to be bad, but it's at that point. It's like, what are you giving up for a Super Bowl? And
that's why you got to win it.
Yep.
And it's very hard. And it's very hard to win a Super Bowl. And I'm gonna leave it with that because people think it's just
gotta cheat, man. Be like the Patriots, just gotta cheat.
Right. But I mean, fans think it's just easy.
We tried.
Yeah, we did try.
People think it's just easy to win a Super Bowl, and it's not. Like if everybody could do it, everybody would be doing it, right?
Everybody ain't the Dolphins.
Yeah. Man, stop it, TD. We ain't won a Super Bowl in 50 years.
It's your fault.
So hey, it's not my fault. They got to figure it out. But I do like the fact that they're willing to spend the money and do what they need to do in order to bring in players. We've never had this type of roster where we had 6 Pro Bowl players. It's been a very long time. I'm happy with the trajectory that we're on. Just keep plugging in guys that can make plays and try to get towards winning that Super Bowl. That's all you could do.
I don't like it, though, and let me tell you why. Here's what I don't like about it. You're masking your failures. Think about everything that Chris Greer pretty much brought in. It's because the option you had before was a failure. Mm. You failed in a lot of areas, bro.
That's the nature of all GMs.
Yeah, but great GMs don't always have to spend $20-30 million to cover up their mistakes, and not this many.
I agree. Some GMs
no, it ain't monogamy. We had to go get Jalen Ramsey.
Some GMs are great at drafting. Some GMs are great at free agency. I think it's the coach that has a lot to do with the input on how you want to approach that too.
I disagree.
And I think if you're in a win now mode, I think McDaniel's thinking, hey, go if that guy's available, go get me that guy. It's not
hard to be great at free agency if you got a bag. If you got all this money,
if everybody could get if everybody could get great players on their roster, they'd be paying for them. They would.
Listen, CB, if half the NFL, if 5 other teams in the NFL offered Tyreek $35 million a year, he wouldn't be a Dolphin. If the Chiefs offered him 26, he wouldn't be a Dolphin. I mean, come on. I mean, we had to. He said it. Tyreek told us. Tyreek admitted it. He told us straight out. They wouldn't try to pay me, man. I was just trying to be
They
fair.
weren't.
I mean, a little more.
Gotta get his bag.
But when Miami called with what they was offering, man, the Jets called too, but Miami was offering more.
But that was a great move. That's a great move for us, though. I mean, they do it.
I heard the Jets were offering more, and he just didn't want to play for them.
According to Tyreek, Miami offered more than the Jets, according to Tyreek.
No,
you didn't hear his podcast?
I'll have to re-listen to it.
Yeah, he said he couldn't turn down that money. He actually said he made a phone call. We're like, yeah, you're right. I think
it was similar money, but I think the tax situation had a lot to do with it too. So
yeah, he's winning in Miami regardless.
Yeah,
same thing with Dalvin Cook. They have to overpay for him.
Who want to play for the Jets?
Exactly. Now who wants to play for the Patriots? We're getting on a whole different tandem. I got to get out of here.
I got all right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Miami Dolphins Roundtable. You never know what you're going to get. We had Barry taking shots at Omar Kelly. We had CB83 taking shots at Nick Hicks. Nick Hicks ain't did nothing. You leave that man alone.
Nick Hicks my guy. Shout out to Nick Hicks. Man.
You telling Tua he need to get from around that circle. Stop.
Hey, you could train with Nick Hicks, but you gotta do some other stuff too. We gotta do some quarterbacks friendly stuff.
Listen, man, give Tua his $60 million a year so we can get his contract.
Hey, you ain't trolling me tonight. Get me out of here.
Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Peace. We out.
Peace. We out. See ya
next week.
Let's do it.